to the live stream at Burbank Card Show. Yes. Day number 3. If you guys missed the influencer feud that we just finished up, it was a blast.
Not entertaining.
Make sure you go check that out. You can find the replays on Hobbzi.com and or YouTube at Hobbzi Media. So Dakota trying to get rid of his wallet over there. He didn't like the way that felt.
It's weird to sit on. So we're gonna be here for a minute, so I'm gonna get comfy.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had a blast doing the live stream here. Had a little hiccups here and there, but it's been fun. Appreciate you guys sticking with us and making sure that all this
I mean, what do you
rolls out. Yeah,
that's what happens when you do something for the first time.
Yeah,
we should expect some errors and some hiccups, but we just roll with the punches and take notes and not do it again the next time.
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to talk a little bit, Dakota, about just the hobby in general, where the content of the hobby is going, kind of the direction of card shows. Obviously, you've got Las Vegas Card Show. You're now a part of Hobbzi, which we're excited about, and obviously we got some fun things planned for, a little hint at what could be the future of Las Vegas Card Show. But there's a lot going on in the hobby around what do the future of card shows look like? How do you make card shows more attractive? How do you bring people in and be more entertaining in and around shows, like what we're trying to do here on the stage? So talk to me a little bit about Las Vegas Card Show, what you did, some of the activations you did to try to change the game a little bit.
When I came into the sports card industry 2 years ago, am I mic up? Okay. We just noticed that there was an absence of show in Las Vegas, and there's just an absence of anything that was elevating the space into other than just walking around looking at cards. So my business partner and I, we just tore everything apart and realized there just needs to be more something. We went to SneakerCon, and realized there's a lot of energy in SneakerCon, and there's zero energy at card shows. Yeah. So being in Las Vegas and working in nightclubs and have gone to numerous festivals, I was like, there has to be a way to bring a production element into the show, as well as activations that keep people in the room. So, people can lap a show and leave, but the idea is to try to keep them in the room as long as possible so they spend more money longer. So we came up with, some unique ideas. Like this last year, we did a LED monitor in the back we were playing Madden off of, and allowed breakers to come on and break live off of it as well.
Okay, yeah.
We also got in Card Shop Live, Sports Card Nonsense. They came in with a pitching machine and actually got the pitch against a professional pitcher. And if you won, you got a big prize. If you didn't win, you got a participation prize. We did a golf simulator upstairs at our trade night. Just anything that it can get kids involved. We did a golf simulator upstairs at trade night as well as downstairs with 777 breaks. So they're closest to the pin type situation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other ideas that we want to do and that we're going to do. It just comes down to how are we going to get there and how can we get the companies involved, because this industry is the hobby card show business is very young. There's still a lot of room to grow, and it's at the point now we got to find a way to get the corporate companies to get involved, and get involved not just by setting up at a show and being here. Is how do we get people activated into their brand as physically at the show by interaction, engagement, something like Tag's doing a great job here at Burbank. They have a basketball court where if you shoot something and you make it, you get in. That's immersing into the brand experience. That's giving somebody a memorable experience that they can look back on and go, oh, I had a great time. And especially with my kids, because as parents that are also collectors and they have young ones, it's hard to entertain them.
Yeah.
So you want to find a way to keep the kids entertained while mom and dad are also entertained, while mom and dad also get to do what they want and also get to share the hobby that they love so much with their family.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unique things that can be done. It's just how do we get them to turn that dial up and get them to see it, because unfortunately in the short term it's going to cost money with not a lot of ROI. In the long term it will eventually cost, it will still cost money, but we'll gain a lot more ROI. Yeah. So you look at all, EJ talks about all the time, look at like ComplexCon, look at the gaming industry. There's a lot going on in that room. There's a lot, but it costs a lot of money. But immersing the users into their brand is also creating lifelong clients in that ROI. So it's a lot of concepts and trying to figure out how to bridge the gap between what has been doing, how card shows have been ran, and how the hobby reacts to card shows for the last 50 years, and try to think of how the next 50 years is going to look, and place yourself 5 years at a time ahead and try to work for that. And you know, there's some people are doing it, and it's slowly turning that cogwheel. At the same time as there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, you know, we've talked about this. You walk around a card show and, you know, especially like at this event upstairs, and we kind of tease that, you know, when you're walking around a card show, you could be standing next to somebody you know, and you don't even see them because your head's down and you're just kind of moseying along.
Yes, how do we get people to look up?
Yeah.
Right, yes. The importance of a card show is to find the cards that you want. You're here to buy, sell, trade. Like Las Vegas card shows, motto last year was make deals, make money, make memories. Like that is the 3 steps to why people go to card shows. All right, so if they're here to make deals and they're here to make some money, okay, how do we make more memories? Right. But that also means you have to get them to look up, and so that means more activations, more signage, more things going off in the room. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. And like for instance, two nationals ago, Fanatics built this giant like 20-foot cube of an LED wall.
Yeah.
And it was wrapped around on all 4 sides, and you could see it and you could feel it because they had music going too. That is something that's so off the cuff, but it stood out. And and then they had an area where you got completely immersed. They would talk about their products that they're coming out with Zero Cool, and they did it again this year too. The live breaking because of Fanatics Live. Yeah. So that is stuff that needs to be more, but again, it costs money. And the biggest problem right now is everybody in this industry operates on how to get the best deal possible all the time. I want to spend as least amount of money and get the best deal possible, and that needs to change to a degree.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have to go like, you don't have to come out of the gate with like this crazy every booth is interactive experience. I think that there's certain things you can plant here and there to slowly bring things in, like you did at the National, like at the VIP lounge. We had. It was just one activation, but at the same time, it was enough to make it interactive.
Talk about PXG.
PXG was there, so the golf simulator. So I think adding more, and like you said, I think Tag's done a great job. We need to see more of that. There needs to be more of that. The content stage that we're doing here, where people can sit and interact, they can watch the live stream online. There needs to be more of an interactive element at these shows where it can be expected. Like, okay, these are some of the things that are going to be happening. I can bring my kids. I can enjoy it. I may want to sit down at 2 o'clock and watch something on stage while I take a break, right? Grab some food and actually go watch a panel or watch some entertaining stuff on the stage. There's elements here that I think are missing across the shows. And Clint from Zion, obviously, he goes to, I don't even know how many, 38 shows a year, I think.
I did 40 each year. My first 2 years in the hobby, I did 40 shows.
Between
80.
Between you and
he goes to more than me. Yeah. I know that.
Between you and Clint, it's like, I feel like you guys have a real pulse, like your thumb on the pulse of what the current shows are doing and what's missing. And I think that's what's so intriguing about what we're trying to build, what we're doing, what we're going to build into the shows, is because we see what's missing and we understand the concept of what's missing, and we have the team to pull off some of the things that are missing. So it's going to be fun.
We were operating as a 2-man team, and now I'm hoping that changes. To go back to what we were saying, we've missed Mama Breaks. She's a great activation too, with kids, getting them involved and having areas for them.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't. Trade day.
Another thing that I'm seeing here that we did at Las Vegas Card Show too was a VIP lounge area where there was arcade games. Get people to relax. Like, okay, cool. I just walked for an hour and looked for cards. What can
take
I
a little
do?
break. Yeah.
There's nowhere to sit. We created spaces for people to hang out. Outside just chairs, but tables and stuff. But you got to be careful because people might use that as areas to buy, sell, and trade, and then the dealers get upset because they paid money for a table and there's somebody over here sitting at a table. So there's a lot of weird nooks and crannies you have to be careful with.
Excuse me. I think those can be navigated, though.
No, they can. It's an ebb and flow thing. Everyone that's trying to do something new, you're going to get pushback. You're going to get people that don't like it. They're going to feel like what they've done their whole life is being robbed from them or taken away from them, and they get very emotional about it, and that's normal. But as with anything that evolves, something needs to die. And I'm not saying die, but it's it needs to change. Like
the
way things work are gonna have to evolve if we want to see the future grow. And there's two things that I can see that, and is people need to start working more together instead of being fragmented, including show promoters. Everyone's so isolated and doing their own thing that they forget that if they could just look up and work together, you could get a lot farther. So that's what I was doing this year with, coming on board with Hobbzi, is I went as far as I can go. I need to build my relationships and my network within this industry so that I can scale things, so that I can bring more to the show. And the more I work with you guys, the more with Clint, it's very abundant, it's very collaborative, and I've always had that dream of being able to get a bunch of people to work together, but it's very hard to do that in this industry at this point in time. But I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah. I think you're seeing more of that, though. Like, you're seeing more like, okay, we can do this together.
We're doing a great job at it. I mean, we're just like, come on stage. We don't care what you do. There is no right or wrong.
Go, right?
If it ends up not being good, we just smack you in the hand and say, let's not do that next time. It's fragmented. The word was dropped to me at National, and I was explaining how I felt about the hobby. And when somebody said fragment, it's like, that is like a one-word statement piece. That is what this is. Everyone's in their own little pockets, their own little tribes, all in their own corners. They all want to do their own thing. They don't want to help out anybody else. They don't want help from anybody else, and they all think they're the best. I was that problem too. And I'll be very honest. Like, my first 2 years, I had a big ego with running Las Vegas Card Show. I thought I knew what I was doing, and I did rub some people the wrong way, and that's just what happens, and I had to learn that. And after this last show, I had to step back and eat that humble pie and realize I can't keep operating like this if I'm going to be truly successful. Like, I can still go, but it will slowly decline. And I'm like, I don't want to slowly decline. So as long as there are enough people that have been in that position and are aware of that and have now made the decision to reverse it and be more collaborative, it's only going to be a matter of time before everybody's, higher tides rise all ships. So it's just, somebody has to start. And I think we're doing that at Hobbzi by just saying, we're going to help you. We're going to do all this stuff. Let's do content together. There is no, not this person, or we're trying to be the cool kids on the block. We're trying to be like, well, I mean, we kind of are trying to be the cool kids on the block by being a place for everybody to come to.
Right.
But also not say we're the best and no one's allowed. So, and that's where I think the change is going to happen. And that's also something that I think show promoters need to start doing, because people there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And you can say it's not crowded, but there's only so many shows people can go to a year, and it's gone to the point where we're fighting for attendance. We're fighting for foot traffic. And if we can't talk to each other, we're hurting a show that's same weekend or close to 2 weeks away from the East Coast, from the West Coast, and vice versa. And, that might just be what needs to happen until some shows stop running.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Well, and you figure, I mean, you've got You've got the National, you had the National in July. You had the Hobby Slam, which was a new show down in Miami. You had Burbank. Mm-hmm. You've got Dallas.
Collecticons.
Yeah, Collecticon was right before this. Yeah. Now Burbank. Now you've got Dallas coming up in, 2 weeks,
I guess. And then another Collecticon.
And then another Collecticon. So, I mean, if you're realistically going to be at these shows as a, dealer, collector, vendor, whatever, you're going to start having to pick and choose where you're going. And unfortunately, when you're doing that, you're going to there's going to be shows that die.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I think the shows that are going to rise to the top are the shows that are actually starting to create more interactions and create more, engagement and things like that with an audience that wants to be at a show that is exciting. Mm-hmm. That isn't just a bunch of, tables sitting around.
Yeah, and what value are you bringing?
Right. Not
just in monetary, but in all aspects in the 360-degree bubbles.
I agree.
What is this doing for a family of four? What is this, doing for the average collector? What's this doing for the diehard collector? What's this doing for the mom and pop shops, the businesses, like the ones that treat it like the 10% of this industry who do treat it like a business? You have to think about all of it, and that's a big thing to think about when you really try to, because you're not going to appease everybody. There's going to be people that aren't happy with you, and that's just the way it is. And with shows I do see a vision. I see an outcome where there can be 10 to 12 shows that can communicate together. There could be a show every month. a big national show. The smaller regional shows, it doesn't matter where you're at. Like, they're only those shows are only for people that only want to drive like an hour or two. We're talking people that are committed, are in this every day, but also can be in cities, in 10 to 12 shows, and that are in different cities that there's enough population in that city to draw enough attendance in to where it does not hurt the show, but also get it so that people will travel to it.
Yeah.
And that just means we got to talk. We got to plan together, even to the point where we may get underneath one circuit and promote it as one thing.
Do you think there's a place? So, I mean, we're talking about all these, like, you know, like engagement and, you know, activations and all this stuff, whether it's digital or in-person activations like TAG is doing. Like, we're talking about all this. Do you think there's a place, let's say, look at Dallas Card Show, right? Primarily a table-oriented show. That's where a lot of the deals are happening. Like, do you think there's going to start being a separation in shows where you've got shows that are primarily in and around deals and trades and things like that, and then shows that are a little more both kind of entertainment and so, and that's where the separation is going to start happening.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Okay.
I think it's needed.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, like, look, Dallas Card Show is a conglomerate. They have built an amazing show schedule, and they deserve all the success they have. But it is just that. It is just a let's sit down and buy, sell, and trade cards.
It truly is like.
But it's good for our hobby because that means liquidation, cards are moving, money's going in and out, and that's and for the older crowd that is okay with keeping things the same, they're going to need a show too, right? The shows that I'm thinking of that, you know, of what I envision is for the next 50 years. The kids that are now kids over here in this corner, they are going to want something that's more exciting because that's just the way the whole world is moving. The world can't keep innovating and then something stay the same and expect more people to come in, like newer collectors, newer investors, all that stuff. We need more eyes, and that means elevating. And that means bringing things that haven't happened before. So there will be a split between the shows. Not every show needs to be a crazy experiential, blow your mind event. Like, we don't need that. There can be like six to eight. You know,
and we know the National is going to be on everybody's radar every year.
Yeah, but they did a great job this year. Like, I've only been in the hobby for 3 years. I didn't know anything about this place in May 2021. At all. I didn't know what PSA was. I didn't know what a silver was. I didn't know. It was just cardboard to me. And that, from just those last 3 years, this year's National was actually, I was very impressed. They spent a lot of money, and they made sure a lot of companies brought big build-outs, like not just banners and backdrops and, you know, stuff that you see behind us. It's full corporate build-outs that they spent money on, and it was awesome. Like, I was like, dang, I did not expect this. But I'm happy it's happening type situation because now they're supposed to be the driving factor of what to expect in the industry, in the hobby, and how to push other shows. There needs to be a show that's constantly innovating, and they have that platform. I mean, they're 45, going on 44 years now. They should be smashing all of us. They should. I mean, that's just the longest running show. But you've got to be the ones that are now evolving it and elevating the space and pushing that throttle down just a little bit more that challenges the Burbanks, the Las Vegas Card Shows, the Culture Collisions, the Delmars, all those ones to keep elevating so that it's a constant competition. There needs to be that competition.
Do you think we'll start seeing some of these larger corporate sponsors that are more sports-oriented and not necessarily hobby-oriented start entering the space?
So I'm glad. That was the point I was trying to make. I wanted to make but forgot, and you circled back to it, not knowing that I want to talk about this, but there is a need to bring in other companies that aren't in this vertical and that are still sports related and get them to immerse across. Like, just there's got to be a way. Like, I mean, easiest one's Nike or Adidas. Get them in this space, have their cool shoes, you know, bring athletes in them that or shoes are built around, and maybe do some signings. Like, get that, because now
I'm even thinking like, you know, DraftKings and
100%.
RotoWire and all these different guys that, you know, are not necessarily in the vertical or in the hobby, but it makes a lot of sense because this is their audience.
Yeah, you got to think about the demographic in this room. There's sports gambling, drinking, addicts. Like, that's just what they do. Like, they love golf, they love to bet, they love to gamble, they love to spend money, and they love to eat food, and they love to drink. Like, there is endless companies around all of those things that aren't in this vertical that could be injected into this vertical, and they would just expand their brand and brand affinity. And so, yeah, like PXG, for instance, just talked about it. PXG at the National was in the Ludex VIP Lounge. That event was the most fittings they've done at a live event ever.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Ever.
Yeah.
They did like 150 or like 40.
And ironically enough, that was in the VIP lounge. It wasn't even accessible to most people. So.
And they said, yeah, we've never done this much before. And I was like, then you just need to be at more of them. And I was like, because I want to buy a set. I got fitted. I took the time because I'm back in golf, and I'm like, I want to get fitted for these things, and they're expensive.
Yeah.
$2,800 even with my veteran discount. And I was like, but they're still injecting themselves in a room full of the right audience, and that's the companies we need to find with what we're doing.
Yeah.
And not just from a show perspective, but from a Hobbzi perspective. And how do we introduce them to this and say, hey, there is a primed, ready market here that loves all of what you do that you probably haven't tapped into yet, and we can get you there. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
so from a that's the sports card side, right? From a content side, what we're trying to do, and just to kind of bring people up to speed that are watching, we see a lot of influencers in the hobby. We just had 7 of them up here.
Yeah, we did. That was awesome
on the live stream before. So
just wait for that one to come out.
Yeah, you see a lot of like influencers in the hobby. They're getting their content, they're putting it out, and that's great. That's good. But what we've realized is there needs to be a centralized location where you can go find solid content, education, entertainment. Yeah, like all this like almost like, and I hate to say it,
it's a hub.
Like, yeah, it's a hub, right, for all of this together. And I think that's why, we've talked to the guys at GM10 about this too. Like, they've got the same concept, and it's kind of like they
have the energy and the craziness and the wild out of the box ideas, which
So they've got the social network side,
and they got the balls to go do it.
They
say they have a crazy idea and they'll go do it. And they're like, oh, let's do this. Like, oh, it probably wouldn't fit right. It's like, no, we're gonna do it. Yeah. Screw what they think.
So I think that's kind of where Hobbzi comes in from the content perspective, and just bringing the hobby together, pulling content from all over the hobby, so that you don't have to necessarily go check and see what's going on at Sports Cards Nonsense, or go check some of these influencers' accounts. Like, you can go to Hobbzi.com and see the latest videos from all the top podcasts, the latest videos from YouTube, the latest articles, featured articles, news, like all this different stuff all in one place. And it gives you kind of a home base.
Again, fragmented.
To look at. Yeah.
Come back to the word fragmented. I'm going to throw that word a lot the next 2 years until it's not fragmented anymore. Is what I believe we're trying to do, and we are doing, is bringing the fragmented pieces into one platform. And eventually, over time, everyone's going to want to be on that platform.
Yeah.
We explained this, I think last weekend, we've always had in the last few months, we're like, how do we describe what we do? And there's so many different ways you can answer, and there's the technical way, and then like the very short, easy way, and that is Barstool Sports for collectible space. Like, we're trying to be known as the company that when we're at events, it's going to be fun. We're going to do quirky stuff, out of the box ideas, constant collaboration with brands, getting content for brands, helping them edit that stuff and just distribute it, just get it out, and just be that go-to company that people know they can come to. They're going to get quality service. They're going to get quality content, and they're just going to know that they're going to scale their brands, awareness and dollars, like, period. Yeah. And it's just like, that goes back to, I believe we're going to be the more pioneer people of bringing it together versus, I don't need you, I'm going to go do it myself.
Yeah.
Because the richest people in the world know you got to work. You got to collaborate. There's like rich, and then there's super rich. Super rich is like, there is no competition. That's what I love about you and Clinton, is there is no competition.
Yeah.
I used to be, oh no, that's my competition, I got to beat them. And that mindset had a ceiling.
Yeah. And
I've busted through that ceiling now with you guys, and I believe that is the only path to seeing the true growth of this hobby up.
It's the rising tide raises all ships. And I think if you're elevating the hobby in a way that makes sense and brings value to people, like, we're all going to be better off for it. And we can bring as many people as we possibly can, in that path towards elevating the hobby. So I keep mentioning GM10, but that's a great example. Like, we've already collaborated so much with them, and done so much with them. If you've been watching a live stream, you've seen these guys a lot.
Yeah.
Over the course of our
and
live
you're gonna
stream.
See a lot
you're going to see
them.
more because, we're going to be doing a lot together. But that's a great example, and it doesn't have to be all Hobbzi. It's like Jesse and Gio from Sports Cards Nonsense and Mojo Breaks and all these guys,
everyone. But and there's so many people here that we talk to that want to be involved. They want to find a way to work with us, and we're only 3 months old. Right. like we weren't officially announcing ourselves until like 2 weeks before the national. And people already know what we're doing, and they want to be involved. Like, just here at Burbank, I've had a couple of people. He's actually supposed to be on the stage, Justin, wherever camera's on. Justin, you're supposed to be on the stage right now. He said he walked up. He's like, "This is cool." And he before he even talked to anybody, he knew exactly what we're trying to do. And he's like, "This is what we need in this lobby right now." I've heard that so many times, and I barely even have to explain it. And they're like, "We need this. We need this. We need this live." And we're just primed. This whole vertical is just primed to explode with innovation and just media in general. And I'm excited for it. Because
for sure.
I see how this is going to work. I was telling you the other day, everything that you guys have been telling me, it's kind of made sense. And then this is our third time at a show. It's making more sense because it's actually visually putting the things together, and it's.
And I think being here too, and like seeing, all the ideas that we've had start to come to life. People start accepting them. They start. Yeah, because
we were in our bubble. We're just like for 3 months. We're like, we're going to do this, 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 and this, but then we never actually did anything. You're like, well. Is it going to work?
Yeah. Is it going to be accepted?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you just got to go for it, man.
Is a content stage actually going to work at a show? Like,
I
think, that's where the live stream came about, because we're like, it doesn't have to work at a show.
Yeah, now
we can be here doing what we're doing now, and everybody at home gets to enjoy it.
Yeah, with our massive crowd right here. Yeah. Like, that's obviously very entertained by our conversation right now, but that's okay. Like, it's going to. As we continue doing what we're doing, working with people like GM10 and other people like, Slab Business, Corey and Tim, who are just entertaining. Like, it needs to be more entertainment based.
Yeah.
Jeremy over at Heritage made a great statement. It should be 20% collectibles, 80% entertainment. That's how content needs to be going right now, because everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone's like, "What's your Grail card? What you looking for?
Everybody's asking the
what
same
are you flipping
questions
right now? What are you buying right now?" Like, we
how'd
all
you get involved
know
in
that.
the hobby?
Yeah, how'd you get involved? Like, it's like, those are all good and dandy.
You just get tired of hearing the same questions
but
asked.
It's regurgitated.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, something needs to change. And GM10's a breath of fresh air. Billman and Frankie are just. I hope our relationship grows forever, because those guys are hilarious and I love them.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, I don't like you guys anymore. But I know there's other people out there that are just as witty, that just are as out of the box, like Daddy Rips. He had to tone himself back yesterday, and I know how his content's usually.
Yeah, we didn't have a bleep button on the live stream, but we probably should have.
Yeah, if we got Roto up here, he'd be entertaining for sure.
Yep.
And it's just time for something to come in and just be like, oh, cool, I can sit and watch this. Not I click a YouTube video and I know exactly what we're going to talk about, and without even being there. Just and I'm not. And before I say the next few things, I'm not trying to bash any show. We've got to try things, and if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't work right, it doesn't work right. There's always going to be errors. But the one thing that, like, the Mint Collective is, their first year, their entire content stage that people paid a premium to be on was the same stuff they were already saying on their YouTube channels, and they know this now. And, but again, they had to go through it and realize, the stuff that we'd be doing as shows needs to be exclusive. Like, can't be thing. We come up with something new.
Yeah, there needs to be enough value there for people to want to.
Especially if you're paying, $600, $800 a ticket. Why would I pay for that when I can just go on YouTube and watch the same thing they said last week?
Right.
So we also need to start forcing that hands. I was like, hey, when you come up here, like, we need new. Don't talk about old. Like, obviously, when we're starting right now, we need to do that just to get the ball rolling. But eventually, we're like, hey, we want not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, if you have a show like the show that they have that coming up, I don't want to talk about it, but it's really funny. Like, that's something that could be redone, but you're also bringing in new characters all the time. So it's
I think too, like, something else is missing in the hobby that we, in my conversation with Mama Breaks, I think it was yesterday.
It's been a long week. So.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks. Yeah. We were at CollectCon last weekend for the show, and now we're here.
Yeah, we're running out of clothes.
Yeah,
I need to do laundry.
I need to find a laundromat. But in my conversation with Mama Breaks, I asked some questions that were, I wouldn't say they're controversial, but they're a little faux pas in the industry to kind of ask some of the things I asked or try to get an opinion out of, somebody. And I think it's interesting how nobody talks about. There's some things that you don't talk about. Like,
yeah, it's taboo.
It's like, no, we don't really
need to
talk about that, right? And they do. They need to be talked about. Somebody's going to have to do it. And
yeah, uncomfortable. And so, the only way to grow is to have the uncomfortable conversations.
Right.
Sit down. Yes, it's gonna suck. Somebody just broke something.
Somebody pulled something.
But the avoidance of the normal thing of avoiding conflict in this industry or taboo topics needs to just go away, because it's only holding us back. It's only restricting us. It's only keeping us down. And we got to air things out, put it on the table. There's a tactful way of doing it. And I think that might be what people are afraid of is, am I going to say this in a way that somebody's going to take in differently than what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Because people, when it comes to politics, because any vertical, any industry has politics. So you do have to be careful on how you say things and who you say things to. But I do think the conversations need to happen to some degree so that it's out there.
Yeah, I agree. And we got to find personalities that are willing to ask those questions.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, that's why Daddy Rips has kind of grown as much as he has, is because he is a little bit controversial.
Same with Jesse and Gio.
Same with Jesse and Gio. Yeah,
very,
sports cars
they're
nonsense.
Very blunt objects, and that's okay.
Like, they're okay being kind of a polarizing. I would absolutely love, to find two polarizing views and get them on stage, and just play that interview card where you actually get their opinions together and actually have those conversations
and let them be wrong.
It's like what's Pierce Morgan watch his stuff where he'll bring in two different people, let them go at it. He kind of plays moderator, but I would love to see that, and I feel like the hobby needs that, because there are so many different opinions out there. There's so many things that people don't talk about. Well, I think it needs to be done more, and we're going to do it.
Yeah,
and we'll see how it's accepted.
This is a matter of time. I mean, look. Again, this is our third show. First show, we did a VIP lounge with Luddux. It was, it was great.
Yeah.
We knew what we wanted to do. We knew we even though everyone thought it was the best thing, we have an expectation of highness, and then
highness or
elevatedness.
That's a new word, folks. Write that down. Highness.
I'm trying. And then CollectCon last weekend, where we actually got to kind of do what we're doing here, but on a little smaller scale on the floor. And now it's only going to keep, I can't wait to see what next Burbank looks like for us, or next national. How big we're going to be, and how many more people are going to want to come on and just do something with us. It doesn't matter what it is. I have envisioned a lot of content across the social media platform, and YouTube will have our icon in the bottom right hand corner of their videos, just plastered, because that's what we're trying to do, is bring all that together and all that creativeness with as many people in this room that are collectors.
Yeah, there's so much
and influencers,
so many
creators,
opportunities. So many opportunities to do that at all these shows, and I think that's what excites me the most is we're just now kind of talking shows. We talked to EJ late at this show, and we're like, hey, look, what if we did this? Nobody's really done this before, and EJ's like, you know what? Cool, try it.
Yeah, we need someone to run the content stage. He's like, we have it, and we don't have the manpower to do it, so go for it. I was like, sick. That was a lot easier than I expected that to be.
Yeah,
which,
but I think it's needed, and shows they've already got enough going on, but it's something that I think adds another element. It adds some flair.
Doing what we did here definitely relieved some weight off of the show, EJJ and Rob, because they don't have to worry about it anymore, and that's just the service that we can bring. We'll take over your content stage. We'll bring all the talent. We'll do all the recording. Everyone can reuse it for repurposing.
We can go live from the floor.
We can go live from the floor. We figured that out.
We did a couple times.
Literally the day
before.
Mind you, guys, back to the little behind the scenes. Half of the stuff on this stage didn't exist until 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Until Wednesday night. We had stuff.
It's pretty typical.
This backdrop got delivered here, then rejected, and it got sent back to San Diego, and I had to drive down there and grab it. And then our modems for our live view didn't show up until the morning of, and because we thought we got it from there.
Yep.
And then our other package for our another production over here didn't show up at time with another one. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of stress.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, look, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got some cool stuff planned. You know, at the next show, we'll have the equipment to be able to, you know, actually go live to the floor and then back to the stage and then back to the floor.
Many people. We want multiple people on the floor at one time.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see that. That's never been done before.
Yeah. Going around live interviews.
So to be able to actually watch, like, I mean, this is a great example. Like, you know, at this show, everybody watching at home, to be able to watch a card show live and be able to see what's going on the floor.
Yeah. Follow people doing deals. Like, for instance, Mojo Sports. We could follow him around while he does deals.
Yeah.
And he can talk directly to the people at home as if they're already there. Even to a point where they can even have a comment thread that somebody's walking with the camera is saying, hey, buy that card, or what about this card, or you should do this deal, you should do that deal. Almost like a live player interaction with that dealer or with that influencer, so that they're guided by the audience watching.
Yeah.
I think that would be very cool. But I mean, that's
for sure.
I don't know how we're going to solve that one, but we will.
Yeah.
Somebody walking around with a monitor the entire time, or an iPad saying, oh, they say this, they say this.
Could be, yeah. It's but yeah, just stuff like that. Just trying to, you know, kind of break through the ceiling of what we've seen at card shows, make it interactive, not just for the people there, but for the people that are actually, you know, weren't able to make it, that they can still be a part of that show and watch what's going on. Like you said, not just on the floor, being part of the deals, but also the content on stage. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see how it progresses and where it goes. But I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we filled that 45-minute slot.
We did.
Wow, that was 45 minutes.
That was 45 minutes.
Wow.
You talk a lot.
40
Dakota.
minutes. What'd you say? You talk a lot, man.
No, you talk a lot.
No, you do. I was like, dude, what are we doing? That's a Clint reference for anyone that knows Clint from Zion. Dude is his word. I want to get a sticker made.
Dude.
I want to get a cartoon sticker made of his face going, dude. And then just underneath it just says big letters, dude. And then we just start stickering things.
If you guys know Zion Cases, Clint Anderson over at Zion Cases, his favorite saying is "dude."
Yeah, I see it in my head. I'm gonna make the sticker
made.
And then Bushi. You know, he called me Bougie once, but he said Bushi, like
Once this replays,
it's S-H-I, and I was like, I'm making that a sticker.
Yeah, once this replays, like leave a comment down in the comment section, either on YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
Once you see this, and let us know,
dude.
Should we get the sticker?
No, just comment, dude.
Yeah.
If we see a bunch of people that say, dude, we're going to do it. We're going to do the sticker. Just dude.
I personally think we should do it anyway, but just let us know.
Yeah,
anyway.
no.
You can comment, dude, and then we'll actually put that sticker together. And if you comment, dude,
we'll send you a sticker.
We will send you a sticker, or you can come see us at the Hobbzi booth at the next show.
That's a lot of money
in
shipping. I'm sorry. I shouldn't commit to that much shipping. So you come to us, and we'll give you a sticker.
Yeah, right. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. Everybody watching live at home, thank you so much. We'll be back on again, I believe, at 5. 5. It's 4:45. Sorry.
We have watches, but we can't read them, so we just look at our phones.
We'll be back on again at 5 with Veriswap.
Yeah,
which is a very, very cool new technology that we're excited to talk to them about. So join us again at 5, Hobbzi.live, and we'll be on with Veriswap. So we'll see you guys here soon.
Yeah, all recaps, Hobbzi.com.
Yeah, find your recaps at Hobbzi.com.
From everything this weekend, just go there. Michael's been crushing it back in where's he at? St. Louis?
St. Louis.
St. Louis? Sorry, Michael. Just killing it. Just getting everything repurposed and re-edited and back on it for you guys to watch. So just stay tuned.
Yeah.